discuss about the New York Jets linebacker position. We're going to be talking Jets draft. There's going to be some draft predictions. I want to hear y'all. You know what I'm saying? It's the final show before the draft comes on. We're going to be having a draft party for the draft as well, but this is going to be the final show before the draft because my schedule is crazy. So we're going to be discussing a lot of stuff tonight. Salutes to 343 Fox Den. Good to see you. I'm going to connect the audio real quick, folks, and we're going to start the show. Hold on a second.
Blog Radio.
What's going on, folks? It's your boy Long Beach Joe, and I am back at it again. I'm back at it again, man. I'm back at it again, and boy, do we have quite a bit to talk about tonight. We're going to be discussing the New York Jets draft, all right? We got a draft prediction show that's going to be the final show before the actual draft comes on. We will be having a live draft party as well, so we'll be doing that live on YouTube. And if time permits, we're also going to be running a radio show directly after to get the reactions from people. So we'll be talking about that tonight. We'll also be discussing New York Jets linebacker position. A lot to talk about there. You know what I'm saying? I'm wondering if you folks think the Jets will take a linebacker in the first round. Some people have been discussing that. It could be an option. Who knows? Depends on how the board falls, right? Also want to talk to you folks tonight as well about the New York Jets, bringing guys in for free agency. There's still some free agents roaming around. The New York Jets do have, K'Wan Alexander visiting today. This is a guy that's been talked about in the past as well. We'll be talking about that. So we have a lot to discuss. Again, the lines are open. 515-602-9639. 515-602-9639 is the number. Call in. I'm taking all callers. But let me go ahead and get into the show. Listen, I'm the man of the people. I'm here for the people. Let me shamelessly promote my Facebook page. Everyone go on Facebook, search The Long Beach Joe Show. Like that page. My content's up there. Go ahead and give it a listen. Message me. I'll message you right back. I love going back and forth with folks about this football team. Also, leave me some feedback. I love hearing about what you folks think I do here on The Long Beach Joe Show. Listen, your boy's on iTunes as well, okay? Go on iTunes, search The Long Beach Joe Show on iTunes, okay? Go ahead and give the show a follow, okay? Go ahead and subscribe on there. And leave your boy some feedback. You know what I'm saying? Leave me a 4 stars, 5 stars. Leave me a 5-star feedback and let me know what you folks think about the show. All right. I love hearing about what you folks think I do here, and I want to continue to get that feedback. So please continue to do that. Okay. And I want to thank everybody that has so far. I truly appreciate it. For those of you that do not know, all right, if you're listening to me on my iTunes or you're listening to me on my Blog Talk Radio, you know what I'm saying? Blog Talk Radio / Long Beach Joe. All right. If you only do that, guess what? We're live on YouTube as well, baby. All right? Listen, look at me. I'm beautiful. You know what I'm saying? I've been told I'm beautiful. All right? I got a face made for TV. Salutes to all the savages in the chat. We'll get to y'all in a second, right? Listen, your boy is on YouTube, okay? Come on over to YouTube. Type in Long Beach Joe Jets. Long Beach Joe Jets on YouTube. That'll be me. And your boy is live. We do live shows on there. That's where you guys hear the audio from the live shows. We have a lot of fun. We also put up other Jets content, and sometimes we game on there as well. So come on by, go to YouTube, type in Long Beach Joe Jets, Long Beach Joe Jets on YouTube. Hit that subscription button, and then also hit that notification bell so when I post content, you folks will be in the know. All right, you folks will be in the know. And also, when you go across my social media platforms, you will find my link tree. My link tree has a link to all of my content, particularly my Discord, okay? I have a Discord. Go on over to that Discord, join up. We have a lot of fun in there. We talk to each other. I mean, we talk trash, we tell jokes. There's a lot of memes, all kind of stuff. We talk Jets in there as well. Come on over and join the Discord, okay? We have a lot of fun. Now, I will warn you, you go in there and get a little too crazy, you know what I'm saying, trying to do some crazy nonsense. My mods, they'll take care of you. You know what I'm saying? My mods will take care of you. Be respectful now. Let's not get too crazy, but we do, talk crazy in there. You know what I'm saying? So salutes to everybody. that will come over and join the Discord, and salutes to everybody that'll, come over and subscribe to the YouTube page, and everybody, again, that checks me out on iTunes. I truly appreciate it. All right. Now, it's time to talk a bit, but before we get there, salutes to my guy, Pappy, 1994, with the big donation. I said salutes to my guy, Pappy, 1994, with the big donation, man. Salutes to him. Pappy says, what do you think about Sauce at 4? Now, okay, it's time to talk. It's time to talk about this. We'll get into the linebacker situation in just a second. Listen, I think Sauce Gardner is phenomenal, right? He's a phenomenal corner. He's great. But I'm not necessarily against it, but I do wonder, okay, depending on who's on the board. If there's a pass rusher on the board, I think we take a pass rusher before we take Sauce, which can definitely be there. There's a lot of talk about Kayvon Thibodeau possibly sliding to us. There's a lot of people right now already talking about they don't even want Kayvon Thibodeau, which has definitely been a little bit jarring because when we were talking about the draft, all the lead up, all that stuff was Kayvon constantly, right? You could not get away from Jets fans saying, we need Kayvon, we want Kayvon. There's nothing else out there but Kayvon Thibodeau. That's who we want. The kid from Oregon, let's go. He needs to be on the team, so on and so forth. And now as the weeks toward the draft just continue to, tick away, the time just keeps on ticking. Now there's a lot of people talking about not taking Kayvon Thibodeau and taking Jermaine Johnson at 4. Okay. There's a lot of people talking about that now. There's a lot of Jets fans talking about it. There's a lot of analysts. We had, Tony Pauline. Salutes to him again. I want to thank him for coming on. He came on last week and he said he wouldn't be surprised if the New York Jets did actually make that move. He also, is a guy that likes Jermaine Johnson as well. So there's a lot of things to be said about that situation. So to me, if there's an edge rusher there, which again, if people like Jermaine Johnson, I would rather take an edge, but there's an argument to be made for Sauce because he is a great player. But when I look at our cornerback situation, Pap, I look at this situation and I say, okay, we got Bryce Hall, who played extremely well for us last year. I don't know why all of a sudden people are starting to talk kind of negatively about him in Jets fandom. I don't know why, but it's starting. Okay. And I'm seeing it. I've heard people talking about Bryce Hall not starting if we take Sauce and possibly Echols starting on the other side. Or even if we don't take Sauce, you put DJ Reed on one side and start Echols on the other. I don't know what is going on out here. I know that there's been a knock on him for not catching a ton of interceptions. Echols only caught 2 interceptions this year. For those of you that think that Echols is way better than Bryce Hall for some reason, I don't understand that either. All right. Yes, Bryce Hall did miss some interceptions this year, but he had 16 pass deflections. He was always in position to knock the ball down. He just didn't pick it off. But guess what? Pass deflections, knocking balls down, making sure that wide receivers don't complete catches, that's his job as a corner as well. So it's not like he's getting cooked for 400 yards out there. He's just not, always catching an interception. But that's not bad. He's still breaking up the pass. He's still ensuring that the wide receiver isn't allowed to make a play out there. So that's one thing that I don't understand people are coming at. And again, Echols only has 2 interceptions this year. And people also remember that Echols as well this year also was banged up a lot this year for us. Does anybody remember that? For those of you that are just saying he's automatically better than Bryce Hall for some reason because he caught 2 interceptions, does anybody remember Echols constantly missing drives throughout the year because of various arm injuries? I remember he had multiple injuries before where he missed, critical drives throughout the season. Mind you, he also, I think, was on IR for like 3 games or something like that too. He missed time doing that. So it's like all of a sudden people are really starting to talk about sitting Bryce Hall down, and I don't think that we should be thinking about doing that. But when you start to talk about taking Sauce at 4, to me, if you taking him, he's got to be a starter somewhere in your mind, right? Because I don't think you can take depth at 4. So if you're taking him at 4, okay, you got Bryce Hall at 1 right now. We got Bryce Hall as our number 1 corner. DJ Reed, we just paid $33 million to. So you would think that he's probably going to be our number 2 corner. You got Echols, who again, yes, he was injured, but we saw flashes where he played, pretty decently as well. He made some plays out there. Then you got Michael Carter in the slot, who was phenomenal. He's a phenomenal young corner this year. My question is, where exactly are you putting Sauce at this point? Because how can you boot Bryce Hall from that number one corner position? How? He played extremely well there. Then again, you got DJ Reed at number 2. What is going on over there? So my question is just where exactly we would put Sauce, and if we even really need corner that much, which again, I personally don't believe we do. Because when you look at last year, we were supposed to get cooked constantly at corner. We were supposed to get destroyed. That was corner secondary was the biggest question mark going into last season. It was the biggest question mark. People said, hey, this young secondary is going to get destroyed all last year, and we didn't. We truly did not get destroyed like that at all. If you go back and you watch that Bengals game, guess what? That young kid over there, he was supposed to destroy us. That Bengals wide receiver was supposed to destroy us. He was cooking everybody last season. He didn't go off against us like a lot of people thought he would, and a lot of that work came from Bryce Hall and Echols out there. So I'm just starting to wonder if we really need a corner that bad, because I think the biggest issue with our defense last year, why our defense was so spotty at times, was the lack of pass rush. Anytime that you have a defense that gives up 400, or not even 400, a ton of yards, right? You're giving guys 400 years to throw the football, then guess what? Your secondary they're going to struggle too. There's going to be times where they're looking like, you're not sure. We don't have a pass rush. We don't have any of that. And again, when you look at Sulla's scheme, corner isn't necessarily, you don't have to have top tier corners for his scheme to work. That is not how his scheme works. And that's been talked about since he got here. You need pressure. You need outside pressure. You look at the Niners, that's how they were built. The Niners don't have a bunch of star-studded secondary. They really don't. But you know who Fred Warner is, and you know who Joey Bosa is, and you know all those other guys that they got up front because they're constantly getting pressure. So for me, I love Sauce. I think he's phenomenal. If I was forced to take, to take him over some other, I would take Sauce before I take Kyle Hamilton. That's for sure. But I'm not rushing to the podium to take Sauce over a pass rusher. I'm just not. We are in definite need of that. But I do think that Sauce is phenomenal. I think he's a phenomenal corner. So salutes to you, Pappy. Again, the lines are open. 515-602-9639. 515-602-9639 is number. Call in. We're taking all callers. We're going to talk about this linebacker situation really quickly, and we're going to get to the lines because the lines are hot. We're talking draft predictions tonight as well. This is the final show before the draft. We're also, again, we're going to have a live draft party. This is going to be the final show before the draft. So I want to hear your takes. I need to know who you guys got the New York Jets taking. But when you look at this New York Jets linebacker situation, I think it's a very interesting situation. There's a lot of talk about various positions, edge and all that stuff. But I also think the New York Jets also need to look at taking some linebackers in this draft too. Maybe not early, but definitely taking them to help out what we have going on here when you really look at the situation. You got CJ Mosley here as our inside linebacker. Again, played very well for us last year, was really impressed with some of the things that he did. But guess what? This guy's making $17.5 million this season. It's going to escalate to $18.5. He's, a 30-year-old backer. Guess what? We cannot continue to pay that. We truly can't. So when you look at the future here, right, for this guy, I think the New York Jets need to look at taking some linebackers in here. So when it's time to move on from CJ Mosley, I'm not pushing him out the door. I'm just saying that when it's time to move on from CJ Mosley, that we'll be prepared for that. So you got to look at that. Jamin Sherwood, Hamza Nasruddin as well. 2 young guys that we got in, guys that we're converting to linebacker from safety. Listen, these guys, they're kind of in the same boat. When you look at Jamin, he played 5 games and he tore his Achilles. So there's question marks about him going forward as well. Hamza Nasruddin, he played about 12 games and then he tore his ACL. One of the two things that I saw about both of these young players, and again, they're young guys still trying to, figure out their way in the league, is they both got to get that coverage stuff together, okay? Because we saw that we were getting cooked, all right? We got cooked by running backs coming out the backfield. We got cooked by tight ends last season, and we got absolutely destroyed in the screen game. And a lot of that was young linebackers not being where they were supposed to be, not reading things correctly, having issues in coverage, getting broken on. We saw that, with Pitts. We saw that with multiple, guys, especially early in the season as well. We had a lot of issues stopping the same thing pretty much all season. So We've got to figure that out. Again, those are two young guys that we're hoping to come back. But again, a lot of people have question marks about them going forward because of their injuries. Then you look at Quincy Williams, who stepped up in a big way for us last year. A huge way, man. A huge way. And this is a big year for him as well. This is the last year before he, could possibly become a free agent unless we lock him up. He had 110 tackles, 2 sacks, 3 forced fumbles. This guy had big time impact for us. Played big. And again, he was a late free agency signing. That's huge for the New York Jets. That was huge for Joe Douglas as well. He found a steal there. Now, when Gerard Davis came back, that's when we saw that his playing time kind of bounced up and down. Now, the thing is once Gerard Davis was kind of, sat kind of back down, and again, Gerard Davis has moved on. He signed with another team, so there's, no threat of him actually coming back. We didn't retain him at all in free agency. We let him walk. We saw him, kind of try to get back on the boat, but the production wasn't there. Now, this year, he could step straight into a starting role, and we're going to really see him be allowed to really take the impact. Because in my opinion, that position is his position to lose. You know what I'm saying? He's the guy that's going to be stepping up and in there. Now, when you look at the options for the New York Jets to take a linebacker, particularly in the first round, Nakobe Dean has been talked about a lot. This is a kid out of Georgia. We're talking about an unbelievably athletic kid. He's ridiculous. His sideline-to-sideline speed's ridiculous as well. He just gets after it. And he can have an impact in coverage as well. There's a lot of people not talking about that, but he can do that as well. He's a guy that can help out with these issues that we have with running backs coming out the backfield, stuff like that. Then you also look at Devin Lloyd out of Utah as well. Extremely versatile. That's the big thing for him. He's a linebacker that a lot of scouts talk about, saying, hey, look, this guy can play darn near any position, within various schemes. So there's a lot to talk about with him too. You also got Chad Muma as well from Wyoming. He's more of a second-round guy. I could see the New York Jets absolutely starting to delve into taking linebacker in those later rounds. That's where I honestly think that they're probably going to attack there. And Muma could be there. 6'3" guy out of Wyoming, every down backer. He's a guy that can make some moves as well. So we got a lot to discuss, man. And again, we got Kwan Alexander in the building. This is a guy that's extremely familiar with Robert Saleh and his defensive philosophy. He's absolutely familiar with it because Saleh was his defensive coordinator, when he was with the Niners. So there's a lot to discuss. Again, 515-602-9639. 515-602-9639 is the number. Call in. We are taking all callers. Salutes to all my savages in the chat. I call my chat the savages. Why? Because they're savage. Savage! All right? Listen, they get after everybody. They don't give a crap who you are, okay? If they don't like your take, if they don't like what you bring into the table, they're going to bring it to you, all right? They're absolutely going to bring it to you, and it is what it is. So we're going to get to these lines. Again, 515-602-9639. 515-602-9639 is the number. Call in. First caller I am going to is my guy from North Carolina. I got to talk to this guy, man. I got to talk. Oh, excuse me. 954. Excuse me. 954. I'm coming directly to you. Salutes to you, my friend. I want to thank you for calling in tonight. Listen, man, give me your thoughts about this New York Jets linebacker situation, about how you feel about it currently, and what are your thoughts about the New York Jets bringing in Kwan Alexander?
First off, I want to thank you for, having me on your show. I've been a long time listener and appreciate all the good content.
Thank you.
Basically, cool. Kwan Alexander basically is going to be a good fit. I believe if we do sign him. He's a young, 27 years old, low mileage. He's a flyer. He can fly around the field, get a lot of tackles, and it's a position that we desperately need for the Jets. The only two bright spots we truly have is, like you said, Quincy and our old guy Mosley. So I like the move in bringing him in the building and try to see if he has any more left in the tank.
Yeah. I feel the exact same way. And again, with the familiarity with Saleh's scheme, I think that's huge as well. Now, when you look at the draft for the New York Jets, where could you see them taking a linebacker? Do you see a scenario where maybe the Jets take a linebacker in the first round?
I do not. No way. I do not see that. I'm thinking more of more later. I'm thinking like 3, 4, maybe in the late rounds, because we still got Nasruddin, we still got the young guys that were banged up that deserve at least a chance in training camp, and just to bring more people in and bring more players in. I think that might take some playing time off of some unproven, untapped talent. So I think we'll keep some of the young guys, but as far as targeting early round linebackers, I don't think the Jets go for it. We get too many important needs, and even though linebacker is very important, it's in the back of the list of the important things. Like I think definitely pass rusher.
Yep.
Is number one. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I mean, you're bringing it right there. And I want to talk to you about that, because there's a lot of people right now talking about Kayvon Thibodeau. They're talking about Jermaine Johnson. They're talking about taking Jermaine Johnson over Kayvon Thibodeau. You talked about pass rusher being extremely important for the New York Jets. Give me your take on that. If Kayvon and Jermaine are clearly going to be sitting there at 4, who are you taking and why?
The crazy thing, a good segue into this. I don't know if I might ruffle some Jet feathers, because I know they're in love with Sauce. They're in love with they're in love with these wide receivers. Yeah. But I'm thinking, being a Jet fan for so long, I'm saying that we double dip, man. I'm saying that we double dip in edge. Even if we get Kayvon Thibodeau, even if we get Kayvon, we're gonna need another edge. I'm thinking 4 and 10, go edge, man. Edge and edge. Why not? You think about it, and the reason I say that is we have JFM, we have Q. They're both gonna be in the middle. Who's our edge? Got Lawson.
Yeah.
Lawson. I'm not sold on Lawson. I've never seen Lawson on the field balling out. His best season, he got 8.5 sacks on a full season. He's a big money edge rusher that's coming off a ruptured Achilles. Now, do we want to just draft the unproven rookie and say, okay, our edge problems are solidified because we have our edge problems are solved because we got a Kayvon Thibodeau now, and then we got our high price Lawson? I say no. I'm not believing in Lawson. I'm gonna get 2 young edge guys, and I'm gonna believe in that 8-man rotation. Lawson is gonna get his licks. We can keep him fresh. We get the two edge guys, and a lot of things with the edge is going to help out Zach Wilson. It's going to help him. It's going to give him better field position. It's going to give him the ball more opportunities when the defense gives him that ball back, and it's going to help the corners. We got good corners. Like you said, the smoke coming for Hall is unwarranted. He played very well. Hall, it's the DJ Reed. He's basically our number one. People got to understand, DJ Reed is going to be our number one cornerback, if they like it or not. If they draft Sauce, that's another story. But I don't think they're going to put a whole bunch of money into a cornerback position. Saleh likes his young group. He said it multiple times during the season as well, and they play zone. They play a zone defense. You know what I mean? So I think that the edge will definitely help out offense and defense, and I definitely want to do a double dipping. And Kayvon will be the number one choice at 4 for me. That's my dream, basically.
Okay.
If we could get Kayvon.
So if we're talking, you talking double dipping. I'm hearing you. I'm right there with you. All right. Now take me down the path. We're taking Kayvon at 4. That's what you're saying. What are we doing at 10 then? Who are you eyeing at 10?
Man, I know Walker's getting a lot of hype, so I doubt he'll be there. I'm thinking we would only be able to get Jermaine Johnson or Karlaftis. Those are the only 2 guys I see at 10. I like Karlaftis. I think him with Kayvon would be something like when we had Sean Ellis and John Abraham. You know what I mean? The 2 different, Ellis was like a bigger, bull rushing type of pass rusher. And then, Abraham was like fast coming off the edge type of, pass rusher. So I think we could reincarnate that, get that pass rushing. You know what I mean? When you go to the football games, I know everybody gets hyped for the defense. I know offense is good, but I don't know. It's a little bit more exciting when you got a good defense and you know that you're there to attack. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And cheering for that sack or that fumble or that interception.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm going defense, man. I'm excited for this draft, and I'm thinking Karlaftis or Johnson the second.
Okay.
For the number 10 pick.
So when exactly are you going offense? Because I know that there's also a lot of talk about wide receiver. Are you okay with the New York Jets waiting into the second round to grab that wide receiver, or is there a guy that you'd like to see them maybe trade back up into the first round for?
Trading back is a popular scenario, but I think we keep our assets because the second round we got 2 in the second and very high top 40. So I believe that we'll go we'll satisfy the fans with a wide receiver in the second round, a la all the greats, all the good wide receivers have been picked on the second round. Granted, the Jets have failed in picking good second round wide receivers. They just got Elijah Moore.
Yeah, we just got Elijah Moore.
Big hit.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, he's not a Devin Smith or a Stephen Hill, so that's a good thing. But I think they have a lot. It's a deep wide receiver class. So the draft one at 10. That's why the Jets. A lot of Jets fans are so desperate for talent, man. It's just I feel everybody's pain, but you got to think, man. A lot of these players that everybody's talking about, let's draft Debo, let's trade for Debo, let's trade for DK.
Talk about it.
These guys are gonna, probably next year they're gonna, be free agents, or they'll be easier to get next year. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I'm thinking in the second round they attack wide receiver and probably running back. I want a running back on the second round, a high, probably Walker the third or Breece Hall. You know what I mean? I want that ground and pound and that defense. You know what I mean? And then wide receiver is definitely going to come later. We can develop them. A lot of people gave up on Corey Davis. Yeah, he had a bad O-line, a rookie wide receiver passing to him. We paid him number one money. He's $15 million. Well, last year $15 million was number one money. Maybe not this year. Everybody's giving $20 million contract a year. But Corey Davis is the number one wide receiver of the team. And then number two, you could easily say Elijah Moore earned that number 2 spot. Everybody wanted Berrios back. He could be the number 3 back. You know what I mean? And then we got 2 tight ends. We play a 12 personnel. It's not a spread out, what do you call it, the Rams' greatest show on turf offense. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? You have 2 tight ends. You're going to pay those 2 tight ends to draft the wide receiver at 10 and move Elijah, move Davis. Mm-hmm. Let's go edge.
Okay, let me. And I hear, I'm trying to say. No, and I hear what you're saying. But I want to play devil's advocate because I want to show you the flip side of the argument, right? So let me play devil's advocate for a second. I hear what you're saying. You're looking at the wide receiver position. You said you don't want one at 10. All right, fine. You like Corey Davis. No. You like Elijah Moore. Of course, Braxton Berrios is here, right? But when you look at the depth, right, there's nothing really there, okay? You also start to key in and you look at Corey Davis and you said, well, there's a lot of people that are giving up on him. Well, he had a lot of drops. It's pretty easy to give up on a guy that's not catching the football, right? And outside of just the drops, let's also talk about the fact that the guy's injured. He missed a lot of time last year with that hip stuff, right? He had a surgery. We'll see how he comes back last year. Elijah Moore also missed a lot of time as well. The Jets don't have a game-breaking wide receiver, right? They don't have a guy that immediately lights it up, right? Or a lot of people talk about that guy being Elijah Moore, but again, I need to see him do it on the field. He missed a lot of time. So why not take a wide receiver when, again, after you look at, Davis and Elijah Moore, they can end up missing a lot of time next year. You got Braxton Berrios, who's a good wide receiver, but he's a slot, right? He's not a take the top off the defense guy. He's a slot. And then after that, you got nobody. Because do not talk to me about Denzel Mims because he does nothing. He might not even be on the roster next year.
No.
So how can you look at Garrett Wilson? Hold on a second. How can you look at Garrett Wilson? How can you look at Drake London? How can you look at these guys that are going to be there upcoming in this draft that are elite guys? Some people will love Jamison Williams as well, right? Phenomenal kid. How can you look at those guys and not want to ensure that Zach Wilson is going to have a weapon that he can constantly go to make defenses pay?
Man, you got to think about it, man. These guys, are they warranted a 10th pick? I'd say the only person in the draft that is warranted for a top 10 pick, he was hurt. He's hurt. Williams from the Tide. What's his name? Jamison Williams?
Jamison Williams from Alabama,
yeah. If he was healthy, never got hurt. If he never got hurt, went to his pro day, crushed it, he probably would have been a top 5 pick or top 10 pick, definitely. But he's going to be back in November. None of these wide receivers won the, Biletnikoff Award. You think about it, Olave played just as well as Garrett Wilson. So when I watched Ohio State games, Olave jumped out to me a lot. Even though Wilson is a baller, definitely, but Olave was balling. I saw Olave ball out a lot. As far as London, everybody calling him a 6'5" wide receiver. This man is 6'3" and a couple of centimeters.
Okay.
They're trying to hype him up like he's Mike Evans. He's not. He's not Mike Evans. He's not even Keyshawn Johnson. We're not picking him at 10. Okay. He's doing jump. You think he's going to jump over these professional cornerbacks in the NFL? You think he's going to?
I think he will.
Without separation, I'm seeing him. You think he will?
I think he will. Yeah. We're seeing him do it already.
He probably will, but that goes back to my what are we thinner at? Edge or wide receiver? What are we thinner at as a Jet team? What would make us better? We got 2 tight ends. We got 2 starting tight ends. Those are weapons already that nobody's looking at. We got Michael Carter. He's a pass catching back. He can run the rock, but he's also a pass catching back. We got the gadget guy, Barrios. He's going to catch a lot of balls as well. We got more. We got a lot of weapons. It's not like we're bare. I just prioritize the defense. The defense got smacked around for so many years within the Gates regime. And like every Jet knows, we haven't had a pass rusher since John Abraham. Let's come on. And we were salivating off of Carl Lawson. We were hyped up for that. We were hyped up for Carl Lawson. A person with 8.5 sacks was his main season. Was his best season. So it's like we're desperate for a pass rusher. Give us a pass rusher at 4. If not, we got to have one at 10. We just need some young talent. I believe that I want to do the defense. And it's a deep draft. Wide receiver on the 2nd round, 3rd round, we could find them. It's proven. And even next year's draft, the wide receivers are going to be better. You know what I mean?
Okay. So when you look at this draft, right? Because we're having a lot of discussion. When you look at this draft, is there a player in this draft that you want to see the New York Jets just steer clear of? Is there a guy that you're looking at and you're saying, do not take this guy in the draft? And who is it?
I do not. Like, I'm not biased against, I'm not going to triple if they pick a wide receiver, Wilson or London.
Hold on a second. So you're not concerned about a guy. You're not concerned about, because there's a lot of people saying like Derek Stingley is a guy that they don't want the Jets to deal with because of the injury history. They would not like to see him taken in the draft. So you're not a guy that looks at him and goes, whoa, that foot injury, the lens frac stuff, the up and down, play after with all the injury stuff. He's a guy that you just have no concerns about. If the Jets took him, you'd be fine as well.
Reason being, he is a baller. He's a baller. Stingley, a lot of Jets fans have really good memory, man. They know about the D-Miller. They know about that injury. They know about Santonio Holmes. They know about Santonio Holmes signing that big contract, and then he got the same Litzfrank injury, and he was never the same. So a lot of Jets fans, they're smart fans, man. We are smart fans, and we're very loyal and passionate. So Stingley, I wouldn't, and I still wouldn't be mad because he was super talented. And as far as like medical advances in the medical field, ruptured ACLs and MCLs and Achilles, all of that is not the same as it was like 5, 10 years ago. They have better doctors and better training regimens, and these players are bouncing back better than ever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We got Chris Paul, not to delve into the NBA. You got Chris Paul at 40 dropping buckets. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
anyway,
I mean the healing.
As far as
the healing depends, but go ahead. I'll let you finish.
As far as a player that I want to steer clear of, I just thought about it when we were talking about. I'm not trying to have Linderbaum at 10, man. I hear a lot of people talking about Linderbaum at 10. If they draft a center in the top 10 or even, man, Linderbaum at 10, you got to think of the same reason why I haven't given up on this offense or Corey Davis. You got to think about it. McGovern, he played against scrubs to his left and his right. Well, not scrubs. Lewis. He played with Alex Lewis.
Oh no.
And GVR.
Oh my God.
You know what I mean? He is a decent center.
No.
He's not a
I'm sorry.
So he's not a top 20 center?
No. My goodness. No, he's not. He's absolutely not.
He's not a top.
No, listen. The first 2 years he was here, he was god awful. He was terrible. All right, and that was him. He was terrible. He was terrible. Watching him get bull rushed, watching him get ran over was Greg Van Roten good? No, but neither was he. His center play was awful. If you look at our issues this year, right? A lot of people talk about Zach Wilson, which yes, he did have a very up and down season. But one of the reasons why he was also kind of limited was he was running for his life. Does anybody remember he was running for his life the first 6 weeks or however many weeks before he got injured? He got sacked 6 times against the Carolina Panthers. They were bowing over Connor McGovern, Greg Van Roten. We had big time issues going on the outside. He got smacked a bunch against Denver. When he was running and got injured against New England, the biggest issue was interior pressure. Connor McGovern, Greg Van Roten, neither one of those guys could hold their blocks. Trying to say that he is a top 10 center in this league is insane. He is not. He's not. And now I will give you, he did not play.
I said top 20. I said he's not one of the top 20.
I don't even know about that.
He's not one of the top 20 centers.
I'm not going to sit here and say that the guard play was amazing, but the guard play wasn't amazing either when we saw Greg Fenton play pretty decently this season. He didn't have good guards next to him. When Mekhi Becton was out there for the little time he held up. He didn't have great guards playing next to him. To sit back and just say, oh, well, it was bad guards and Connor McGovern. No, Connor McGovern has been trashed too, okay? And if we can get an upgrade there, and there's a lot of mixed opinions about, for whatever reason now, about Tyler Linderbaum. But most scouts have said this kid is generational. Generational center, all right?
Generational talent?
Listen,
at a center,
I'm telling you right. He is the highest. He is one of the highest rated centers in the last decade. I'm telling you. I know a lot of people are now having amnesia about Tyler Linderbaum, but if you talk to most scouts, they were saying, "Hey, this kid's gonna light it up. He's phenomenal. Take him if you can." Now, there's been a lot of talk about where he's going to be on the board. You talk about 10. I've heard people talk about him sliding down to 31, but taking him, I wouldn't be against that at all. Because if we're talking about bettering this team,
saying at 10.
If we're talking about,
I've heard a lot about 10.
Listen, do you want Zach Wilson with another PCL injury?
Do you want to take him at 10?
Do you want Zach Wilson with another PCL injury? Is that what you want?
No, but I'm
okay.
We got a future.
I'm playing devil's advocate. I'm listening. Go ahead.
Next to McGovern, you have a future Pro Bowler, and a Pro Bowler next to your center.
Yeah.
So that's automatically going to have him play better. He's going to play better. He's not going to have to help to the left or help to the right. So McGovern's gameplay is going to be way better than everybody remembers.
Okay.
As far as and the whole line in general. But I want to ask you on your show, do you believe that would you be okay with Linderbaum at 10?
Yes, I would.
Since you hype him up and
I've already talked about this multiple times. Yes, I would be okay with Linderbaum at 10. If the New York Jets took a pass rusher at 4, if the New York Jets took a pass rusher at 4 and took Linderbaum at 10, I'd be fine. And the reason is because, and I've also talked about going edge twice. And let me break it down because I already hear you saying, hey, would you pass on Jermaine Johnson? If they did pass on Jermaine Johnson at 10, I would think that they would be looking to either take another edge in the second round, right? Or later, because there's other edges. There's that linebacker out of Michigan. There's talks about him sliding because of his injury. There's Boye Mafe as well. There's talk about him possibly being in the second round. Also, the New York Jets could also look to trade up and get back into the first and take Boye. There's a lot of talk about that. So if the Jets did take him at 10, I wouldn't necessarily be upset with it because there's still other options for us. If Joe Douglas values this guy at 10, and again, there's a lot of talk about him being a generational center. You add that kid to the we have one of the, if not the best offensive line in the league. Come on. You got Mekhi Becton, you got Mekhi Becton, you got the guard that we just picked up, right? From the Niners. You got him in the building. Then you'd have Tyler Linderbaum, then you'd have the guard we got from SC, that's phenomenal. And then you would have George Fant at right tackle. That'd be unstoppable. Zach Wilson would never get hurt. He would never get hit. We'd have 1,000 years to throw the ball. We'd have 1,000 holes open up so that Michael Carter can go off and run the ball effectively as well. I'm not against it. I'm not. Not after what we saw last year. I wouldn't be against it.
Facts.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, but maybe it's because I haven't been up on Linderbaum like that. Or a lot of people have been hyping him up, but there's only so much freaking film that you could look at a center blocking people, and it's like, is he mauling people like Quentin Nelson? Is he mauling people like that, smacking people around like EK or Becton? If he's like a mauler like that, then yeah. But he looks like, from what I've seen, he looks like a zone blocking.
He is
center, which is cool. Which is cool. That's what we run. But I just think at 10, that's kind of like, I don't know, man.
I'll tell you what. And listen, if they value him there, and they take him, I wouldn't be against it. So my final question before I let you go, my friend, because we've had a lot of discussion. Give me your thoughts. Give me your final prediction for the New York Jets 2 first-round picks. Who do you think they take at 4 and 10? Who is it?
Realistically, I would say that they are going to. I hope it's Kayvon Thibodeau, man. I want KT. I take KT at 4, and at 10, I think they go more cornerback. I think they go cornerback or safety. That's the only hole they're missing. They have that. They have Whitfield, and they sign Joyner, but they still have a missing safety piece. So I think that they might have Hamilton in there, and I think they might draft Hamilton. So they'll have like an edge and a secondary. Yeah. Okay. That's what I think.
Okay. Give me your name again. I mean? Give me your name again, my friend.
That's just my guess. That's not what I want. Tyrone.
Listen, Tyrone, it has been phenomenal speaking with you. Next time I have a show, I want to hear from you, man. You brought the heat, man. You absolutely brought the heat, and you had a lot of great takes, my friend. You really did. I want to thank you for calling in, Tyrone. You have yourself a good one, my friend.
You too, man. Thanks.
All right. Listen, Tyrone calling in with the heat. We got a lot of callers. Again, 515-602-9639. 515-602-9639 is number. Call in. We're taking all callers. We got a lot to talk about. You know what I'm saying? We got a lot to talk about. He said Kayvon and safety. Man, there's a lot to discuss. So we're going to keep getting to these lines. Next, I'm going to my guy, Monty. Monty's on the line. D, Steve, Rusty, we'll get to you in a second. Monty, salutes, my friend. All right. Good to see you in here once again.
What's up? What's happening?
Dude,
what's happening?
There is a lot. There's a lot to discuss.
Hey, that last caller, man, he had me like a roller coaster. I'd be like, oh, man, I agree with you. Then he'll just say something crazy, go down, and then he'll say something like, oh, man, I'm with you. And then it's like a roller coaster, man. I was every which way with that dude.
Listen, man. Listen.
Shout out to him, though.
Yeah, listen, Tyrone had his takes, man. He had his takes, you know what I'm saying? And I respect him. I hope to hear from him again. Now we're talking, man. We're talking draft. This is going to be the final show before the draft comes up. And one of the things I was talking about earlier was the New York Jets linebacker position as well. Kwan Alexander in the building today.
Mm-hmm.
Give me your thoughts about that situation and how you feel about the New York Jets' current linebacker situation as well.
The linebacker situation has always been a problem and issue with me because they just can't. Those dudes can't run. You know, in the NFL now, you got to have versatile linebackers who can run and backs, run with tight ends, run with receivers, all that, and they just don't. They really just don't have that versatility at that position to be able to thump when they need to thump, cover when they need to cover, and especially in the new NFL, that's what you need. And also we just don't have the depth to be able to really do anything at the position, man. It's just always been an issue. I like CJ Mosley a lot. I know he's being paid a lot of money, but I think CJ Mosley brings a lot to the table, especially leadership. You know, there's no price that you can put on leadership and, you know, being in a winning organization and bringing that to New York and wanting to be here and set the culture. And that's very, very important. So Quan Alexander, I was always a fan of Quan Alexander when he was with Tampa for a minute. And then you go to he went to San Francisco, and then he went to the Saints. I believe he was playing with the Saints last year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he was.
Did he play with the Saints last year?
Yeah, I believe he did.
Okay,
He played with the Saints last year.
Yeah. So he had his best years with Tampa. Then he went to San Francisco and kind of just fell off the map. So I don't really know what that means for us. I mean, he's familiar with Robert Saleh's system. So I mean, that's a positive. But as far as, you know, him playing at a high level, I really don't expect it too much.
Okay, yeah. So when you look at our situation currently, Monty, there's just a lot going on with the New York Jets at this point. So when you look at us right now, when you look at us right now, there's a lot of Jets fans out there saying that they want to take Ikem Ekwonu at 4. They're still talking about this constantly. What are your thoughts about that, and would you be upset if the Jets did that?
No, I wouldn't, because you could never have too many linemen. You know, it's not you can never have too many linemen. And what I pay attention to, Joe, I pay attention to what our division's doing. So we're in a division where, you know, you have 3 top defensive, you know, teams. Miami's a top defensive team. The Patriots are a top defensive team, and the Bills are a dominant defensive team. So you really have to, you know, find some way to neutralize it. And you're also dealing with Mekhi Becton being injured a lot. You know, that's our ace. You know, you can't rely on Mekhi Becton. You got to find somebody else who can anchor the offensive line. And I wouldn't be, you know, at 4. I would take the best lineman at 4 if somebody was to slip. I wouldn't have a problem with it. You know.
Here's my question. Here's my question.
If I have my
Here's my question, Monty, because I want to play devil's advocate on this. I hear what you're saying,
What's
but
up?
when you talk about taking him at 4, right? We got Mekhi Becton, who's coming back, right? When he's healthy, he's a top lineman in this league easily, right? Then you got George Fent, who's going to be on the other side as well at tackle. We went and got Lakeland Tomlinson as well at guard. Our guard position is shored up. So why are we drafting depth at 4 when there's so many other needs on this football team, particularly edge? Why would I take a tackle at 4 and not have an edge?
Because you're not great at any one position, Joe. You know, like just because we went in free agency and we, you know, drafted a, you know, supposedly good lineman, that doesn't mean that solidifies the position, because you haven't seen these guys play yet. You haven't seen them gel yet. So when you're having top-notch competition at that one position, it makes your team better. You know, like it's nothing. I always think is a good thing when you add more talent. When you're a B at something and you just get another player to become an A, that makes you elite. It's the same way I look at with the Cincinnati Bengals. Yeah, they had Tyler Boyd and they had the one guy out of Clemson as well, but you have a phenomenal athlete and Jamar Chase sitting right there, that takes you from an average football team to a great football team because you're breeding competition and you're having other people step up their game. And you can never, Joe, I've never heard anybody saying like, oh yeah, we have too many offensive linemen. I've never heard that at all. Like, have you?
No, I haven't. But we also haven't had anybody say we have too many pass rushers either. So my question is, why are we taking? And again, Akeem's a phenomenal player, but what exactly are we going to do with it? We can't play all three of them at the same time. We can't do that, right? And when you look at the other needs on this football team, why would we take him when we don't really have an answer at edge? Again, Carl Lawson's coming back, but he's coming back off that torn Achilles. I'm wondering, again, I'm playing devil's advocate. Why are we not worried more about taking edge than taking a tackle? Especially, again, when we got guys coming back that are going to be filling those positions. I understand the competition talk, but there's next to no competition at edge. So what are we doing with that?
Okay.
And why take that at 4 so high?
So who's your big investment on the team?
My big investment?
Zach Wilson, right?
Yeah. Yes, he is. Yes, he's the biggest investment. Your biggest investment
in on this team is Zach Wilson. And you want to find out in year 2 and year 3 if Zach Wilson is the guy. So what you want to do is you want to surround him with much talent as possible. You have a defensive head coach. A defensive head coach should be able to, whip up anything, with the defensive players on the team. Like I trust he's a defensive head coach. So I expect him to be able to work magic with what he has. That's what you bring him in here for. So
no, not if
you basically want to.
Not if you don't have a pass rush.
You basically want to make sure Zach Wilson. It's the most. Joe, the quarterback position is the most important position in the league.
Yeah.
Like I understand pass rush and everything like that, but we're in a high scoring league. You got to keep up. You're gonna find a defensive stop somewhere. It's the NFL. That's what players do. They players get paid. So they'll be able to make a stop when it matters. So, but you have to make sure that you have adequate receivers, game-breaking receivers, game-breaking running backs, and you want to make sure that you're protecting Zach Wilson. He's not a big dude, Joe. He got hurt last year.
Yeah.
He was running for his life. So, like I said, you can never have too many offensive linemen, and you want to make sure you have the best 5 guys out there protecting Zach Wilson and make sure he's thriving. Because once you're going against the Patriots, they're going to send the house at him. Once you're going against the Bills, these are all good defensive teams.
Yeah.
And Zach Wilson has to produce.
Yeah.
I don't want to see him running for his life. So if it means, is it ideal for me to draft a lineman at 4? I'm gonna be honest with you. No, I would rather not. There's a lot of needs on this team, but me personally, I would rather, go with the big applesauce, and Sauce Gardner. I would want to do that at 4 because he's a phenomenal talent.
Yeah.
And you got to look at your division. You got Tyreek Hill. You're gonna have to check Jalen Waddle. Stephon Diggs. The Jets. You got to get somebody who can cover now.
Yeah,
I don't know if I would go with pass rush. Of course, I want pass rush. I feel like it's important, but I don't think the guys that I'm seeing now are the guys. Unless Aiden Hutchinson drops down to 4, that's the only player. That's the only pass rusher that I want at 4, and I don't think he's gonna fall too far.
Okay. Look, and I hear you, and there's a lot of people talking about that. There's a lot of people saying that we got these guys in our division from Diggs to Tyreek Hill is here now, so the New York Jets need to look at corner. I don't think our cornerback situation is as bad as everybody else thinks it is. I don't. I feel, honestly, our secondary performed a lot better than a lot of people thought they would. I think the biggest issue with the New York Jets has been pass rush, and I think that also helps as well when we talk about Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle and Diggs being in our division now, because guess what? If your quarterback has 2 seconds to throw the football, or less than 2 seconds to throw the football, those decisions are going to lead to turnovers. Those decisions are going to also help our cornerbacks because they're not going to have to cover as long. So I think a lot of people are not thinking about that. And my question for you is, because you brought up Sauce, is that if we're taking Sauce, then what are you doing? Well, okay, I hear you, Monty, but what are you doing at corner? Like, where's Sauce going? Is he automatically your number one? Are you booting Bryce Hall out of his spot?
Yes.
Is it Sauce and DJ Reed? What's going on? Go ahead, talk to me.
Sauce is a special Sauce is a special talent. So if you're debating between Sauce Gardner and Thibodeau, I'm going Sauce. He has the intangibles. The dude is a hard worker. He wants it. You know, I think Thibodeau kind of gets away with, because people like him because he's athletic. Yeah. But I don't think he's refined as a pass rusher. Me personally, I don't think he even has like a motor in which I would want in a defensive lineman.
Wow.
Like he's kind of just he's an athletic defensive lineman. And I'm not really into those Jadeveon Clowney type like defensive linemen. I more so like the Aiden Hutchinson, the Nick Bosa's, the technique, the technical guys who have a high motor. I like those guys. I don't know. Me personally, we had this discussion before. I don't like linemen out of the Pac-10. That's just me. It's just not enough defensive talent over there. Like I don't. If you're looking at the league, I don't know if it's just the defensive coaches. I just don't see much talent, defensive talent coming from that. I mean, am I wrong? Like who are the top defensive linemen out of the Pac-10? Name them.
Listen,
they don't exist. They're normally from the Big Ten or they're from the SEC.
Monty, we've had this discussion again. You got people getting after you. You know what I'm saying? That's in that pack. They want to talk to you, Monty.
Prove me wrong.
All right,
man.
Monty.
Prove me wrong with it then, because I don't want my cornerbacks from the Pac-10. I don't want my defensive linemen from the Pac-10. I'll take my offensive line from the Pac-10, maybe my quarterbacks and a couple of receivers, maybe running backs, but any defensive linemen, linebacker. Nah, I'm good. I'll stay in the Big Ten and the SEC for those.
All right, listen, everybody.
Here we go.
Monty, you know what I'm saying? Monty said that, not me. All right. So as we continue to talk about this draft and going into it, there's a lot of talk about A.J. Brown, about him possibly being moved. He's made a lot of tweets recently that seem like his relationship with the Tennessee Titans is not in the best space. There's also a lot of talk about Deebo Samuels and his relationship with the Niners not being in the best space as well. You're a Jets fan. I'm a Jets fan. We both bleed green. All right. If you have to pick between either one of them, right, you got to pick between one of them, Deebo, A.J. Brown. Both of the teams come up to you. They say, hey, give us the 10th pick. We can make the move. What receiver are you picking, and are you getting the trade done for the 10th pick in the first round?
No. I'm not. I like, both guys are nice, but they came up in those systems. Deebo, came up in that 49er system. Brown came up in that Titan system. Like that's what they know. I don't know how they will fare here. Granted, I don't know how a receiver that we draft would fare here, but I want to be able to groom a receiver into what I want them to be. And a receiver who is coming into the league is going to be green, and they're looking for knowledge. And also, I don't have to spin the bag for them. They're good. They're good guys. I like A.J. Brown. I like Deebo Samuel. He's done a lot for the 49ers. But man, I'm just tired of trading for guys, man. Like we're not there yet. We're not there yet to be trading for guys, and we have to get it from the mud, man. We got to start building these dudes from the ground up, man. I want some dogs, man. I want a player. I want a player. That other teams want to trade first round picks for it. I'm tired of just going and trying to draft other players from other teams. Let's build our own. We use those picks. We earn those picks for a reason.
Yeah. Okay.
We earn those picks. So let's use them. Let's trust our scouts. Let's make the best decision for our team, and let's start building some guys that we can grow and be proud of.
Yeah.
I like those players. I like A.J. Brown, like them guys, but man, let's just go in and attack our needs in the draft and build it that way. That's what Joe Douglas has been doing. You know how I feel about Joe Douglas, but he's a patient man. And let's just go out, draft some guys, build the culture, and start winning some football games.
Okay. So now when you look at the situation,
that's the system that he wanted. Let's go get it.
I hear you. Now my final question for you, Monty, because you've had some takes. What player in this draft do you want to see the New York Jets steer clear of?
I already told you, Thibodeau.
Okay.
I don't want no parts of him.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't want no parts of him. I don't want any of those defensive linemen, man. They're just guys. If it's not Hutchinson, I don't want him in the top 10.
Wow, not even Jermaine Johnson, nothing. Okay. Wow. Okay.
No, I don't. I think they're just guys. They're just guys. They're not game breakers. Top 10. I want somebody who's going to be a game breaker, an anchor, a generational talent. We did that same thing with Quincy Williams, man. We took the best defensive lineman who was out there, and look what that got us. He's good. He showed us some things, but he's not living up to the third overall pick. And when you draft in that high, you got to make sure that the guy that you draft is making impact. Like the offensive coordinators have to worry about this guy, and we haven't gotten that. So I want to make sure whoever we get, they're going to be a nightmare for the other team. And I just don't think that a defensive lineman out of Oregon is going to do that. I don't think that Jermaine Johnson is going to be able to do that. He couldn't even start at Georgia. Granted, that was a lot of talent there.
Wow.
But I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
Woo, Monty.
I want a guy who hasn't given up no touchdowns.
Wow.
No touchdowns in his whole career.
Okay.
Who brings that attitude, who brings that sauce. That's what I want.
All right.
Brings that swagger.
All right.
All right. Who got
Listen.
it from the mud. That's what I like.
All right. Well, before I let you go,
Sauce.
give me your draft prediction for the New York Jets at number 4 and number 10. Who do you think the Jets are taking? Give me your prediction. Whoa.
The Jets are taking Sauce Gardner at 4 and Garrett Wilson at 10. Game breakers.
Okay.
And that's gonna turn the culture around. Yeah, let's go. Jets. And it's gonna turn this hey baby. Okay. And that's gonna take us to the next level.
All right.
That's gonna take us to the next level. And we're gonna trade back into the first round, and we're gonna get the center out of Iowa. Let's go.
All right. Listen, Monty, I want to thank you for calling in. You have
playoff team, baby.
All right, you have yourself a good night, man. Woo! Listen.
All right.
Monty calling in. He said he don't want none of those guys. Wow. Takes are flying, man. Now you got people, all of a sudden, they don't want to have nothing to do with Kayvon Thibodeau. Monty don't want to have nothing to do with Jermaine Johnson. You got people saying that they think that Connor McGovern's a top 10 center in this league. Good Lord. Tyler Lindenbaum sucks. I don't know what's happening, man. This place is out of control, man. It's out of control. I don't know what's going on. Listen, please give the stream a thumbs up, and wherever you're watching me from, please hit that thumbs up button. Also share the stream with your friends and your family. If you'd like to give to the stream, please give to the stream. Super chat's there. Cash App is at the bottom of the screen. Anything you give to the stream is greatly appreciated. Anything you give to the platform is greatly appreciated. Whoa. Takes are flying. We're going to continue with these calls again. 515-602-9639. 515-602-9639 is the number. Call in. We're taking all callers. Next, I'm going to my guy, D. Steve, Rusty, Mike will come to you in a second. Salutes to you, D. And listen, D is from the Bronx. I don't know if y'all know that. That boy's from the Bronx. You know what I'm saying? I got some friends out there. Those Bronx are some thorough dudes. You know what I'm saying? So salutes to you, D. I want to thank you for calling in tonight. We've had quite a show. There's takes of flying everywhere, right? So when you look at this draft coming up, D, for you at 4, would you take Ikem Ekwonu? Would you do that?
What's good, Joe?
What's going on, man?
No. I'm not taking him. I don't know why all of a sudden he's better than Evan Neal. If Evan Neal was sitting there,
talk about it.
Like he's Evan Neal. Huh?
I said talk about it. I remember
Evan Neal was.
Go ahead. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Evan Neal was proven he could play left tackle, right tackle, and guard, and actually dominate. He gave up 1 sack in 3 years. He's a dominant offensive lineman. Akeem, he can. I love his run blocking. His pass blocking ain't that great. So I mean, to me, he's one-dimensional. I don't know. I wouldn't draft him at 3.
Okay.
At 4. I'm sorry.
4. Okay. So what are your thoughts about people saying that they want Sauce at 4? Is cornerback that much of a need in your mind that we need to take Sauce there?
I mean, honestly, it depends on how the draft falls. If Thibodeau was there, personally, I'm going to take Thibodeau. If he's not there, it's a chance. I would go with Sauce. I would go with Sauce over Akeem. I would.
Okay.
I would. I
would
go with Sauce over him.
Now you're talking about Kayvon Thibodeau. What are your thoughts on a lot of fans? Clearly there's just a massive exit on Kayvon Thibodeau. A lot of fans are they're not sold on him all of a sudden. They're not interested in him. What are your thoughts about that? How everybody has just absolutely turned their back on Kayvon, and there's even some fans and also analysts as well talking about how Jermaine Johnson is a guy that the New York Jets should take over Kayvon Thibodeau at 4 if they're both available.
I don't know. I mean, wow, Jermaine Johnson. I don't know, man. I guess I'm starting to feel like everybody else. I think he's okay. I think he's okay. I heard the guy that before you said he couldn't start at Georgia, but Georgia's the D line was good. But I mean, he showed up to the All-Star game. He went against bum offensive linemen, and then he didn't play in the game. I didn't understand that one, but I like Thibodeau. I like Thibodeau, and I think Thibodeau is going to be good. It's only crazy Jets fans that the same probably Jet fans that pick Kyle Brady over Warren Sapp that's saying he ain't going to be good. 'Cause I don't know what they're watching, but I like his get off. It's nothing I don't like when I watch Kayvon Thibodeau play. It's nothing.
Okay. Oh, man. So let's say the New York Jets take edge right early. So they take Kayvon Thibodeau. What position do you think they need to address with the number 10 spot in the draft? Are you thinking wide receiver is where they go?
I'm going wide receiver. Honestly, if Garrett Wilson is not there, I'm going with Williams. And then I'll double dip sometime down the line at wide receiver. Only if Garrett Wilson is not there. But receiver should be the pick. Okay. I would like receiver to be the pick.
So here's my question about that, D, because you're talking about Jamison Williams if he's there at 10. Kid from Alabama, he's phenomenal. But he tore his ACL, dude. And a lot of his game is predicated on speed. I'm going to play devil's advocate here. If he's not going to be available till November, how are you so sure taking him with the 10th pick that he's going to be able to come in and have an impact? He's coming off an ACL injury, right? We don't know exactly what he's going to come back as. Why not take another wide receiver? Why chance it with him?
It's tough, man. I like a lot of these wide receivers. I don't like your boy. I can't say I don't like your boy from USC, but what's the difference between taking him? What's the difference between taking Williams and him? He's still injured. He hasn't done anything. He pushed his pro day back.
Well, he did.
Pushed his pro day back.
He did, but he was out there. He did push his pro day back, but he was out there, and we saw him out there running routes, and he was jumping and doing his thing. He didn't run his 40. I know people are going to say that, but he was out there, and he looked good. He looked smooth. He was getting up moving. That ankle injury is clearly it's cleared, ready to go. And it was just an ankle injury. This guy tore his ACL. You don't know what condition that knee's coming back in.
I get it. You know what? You're right. But I'm telling you, I mean, these guys are tearing up these ACLs, and they coming back stronger than ever, to be honest. And, I mean, I think I can see we got an extra game this year, the 17 games. Hey, if he misses the first month of the season, honestly, just missing 3 games. He's just missing 3 games, and I could deal with that. I think we need that type of receiver. We haven't had that type of receiver in a long time. A long time, that you need safety help over there to help him out. Yeah. And I don't see nobody else getting that.
So what are your thoughts about the New York Jets possibly? Else getting that. What are your thoughts about the New York Jets possibly taking that 10th pick and trading it for A.J. Brown or Deebo Samuels? There's a lot of talk about surrounding those guys right now. Would you be open to any one of those guys?
I mean, I would be, but now, I mean, honestly, these guys are being greedy now. They see what the market went with these retards in Jacksonville paying third-string receivers. So now everybody set the standard up. I need $25 million a season.
That's a fact.
If they want $25 million a season, I'd rather draft and groom my own receivers. But that's ridiculous.
Okay.
That's ridiculous. Everybody wants 20, you know.
Yeah. Listen, I hear you. So my final question for you, my friend, give me your picks for the New York Jets, right? Give me your predictions for their picks at 4 and 10. Give me concrete. Who are the guys you think the New York Jets take at 4 and 10?
If Thibodeau makes it, I say Thibodeau, and I say Garrett Wilson.
Thibodeau at 4, Garrett Wilson at 10.
Those are my 2 picks.
Okay. I respect that, D. I respect that. Respect that. Listen, D, I got to get back to these lines, man. I want to thank you for calling in tonight. Next time I have a show, I want to hear from you, my friend.
All right, man.
All right. Jet. Listen, D calling in. We're going to keep getting to these lines. Again, 515-602-9639. 515-602-9639 is number. Call in. Next, I'm going to my guy, Rusty. Steve, Mike will come to you next. Rusty, salutes to you. I want to thank you for calling in tonight. There has been some takes, Rusty. There's been some takes, man. Give me your thoughts on the mass exodus from a lot of people on pass rusher at 4. There's a lot of people now talking about taking Akeem Ekwonu at 4. What are your thoughts about that, man?
What's up, Joe?
What's going on, man?
Salutes.
Salutes, man.
Yeah, no, that's a no-go for me. That's a no-fly zone. I don't want an offensive lineman in the first. I don't want a receiver in the first. I don't want a cornerback in the first. I want nothing but edge linebacker. Okay. And I really hope we trade 4 and hopefully try and get 3 in the first, go edge, linebacker, edge. My dream scenario would be hopefully, to get somebody for quarterback play and then work from there. And then at 10, get somebody like Karlaftis or have somebody fall, whoever JD and them are thinking, and then go for Dean and then get Boye Mafe.
Okay.
And just ensure things. And then with 35, get Leo. And with those plethora of picks for hopefully a bounty of quarterback who it's all for the taking from there, and it is plentiful.
Yeah.
So
now,
I don't know. That's why I really, really don't like going. Oh, all right, my bad.
Listen, and I hear you, and I hear what you're talking about. That's why you're not interested in going that there, and you kind of laid out a little bit of a scenario there. And so when I'm looking, because you talked about linebacker situation, and you talked about Nakobe Dean, this is something I spoke about as well. The New York Jets linebacker situation. Seeing them take a linebacker possibly in the first, that's an option that could be there. What is so special about Nakobe Dean in your mind that says, hey, he pops to you and you look at him and you say, hey, this guy needs to be a New York Jet?
Honestly, number one is his brain. I swear to God, it's his football IQ. And he's the one who's telling everybody on Georgia what's going on at that split second. He's reading the line. He's talking to Jordan Davis. He's talking to Walker. He's talking to everybody. That guy is the brain, if you will, of that defense. And he craves it, sideline to sideline. Now, mind you, he's 225 around there. But he's also could be in a way like those safety hybrid linebackers that we always like, and he fits the bill. He's sort of like a Mosley. Didn't Mosley get around that late? But it wasn't natural to him, so that's the reason why he was, sort of couldn't lay the boom this year. But that's why hopefully we get Leo, Chanel for the other side. for that type of factor,
Mm-hmm.
because I see him as like sort of like an edge linebacker hybrid. So if you have those two stages right there at the field, you're, and then have somebody coming off the edge, whether it's Karlaftis or, somebody that falls, and then you have Boye Mafe on the other side, and then with Lawson,
yeah,
you're in big trouble. and those dudes can't, they have enough to knock you back. They have enough to run with a tight end, jam a tight end, do the same thing with wide receivers, no problem. And then you have to go and deal with our secondary, who was surprisingly the rose of our season. I thought it was going to be our Achilles heel.
Yeah,
nothing against, and that was literally no pun intended, but
yeah,
I was completely thrown off by that, and it's only benefiting us this year.
Yeah. And
what
are your thoughts about a lot of people talking about that? Because you talked about our secondary improving, or our secondary really knocking you off your feet, with surprise how great they played, due to the fact that everybody thought they were going to get roasted. What are your thoughts about a lot of people kind of bashing Bryce Hall right now? A lot of people saying that next year it's looking like, DJ Reed and Eccles should be the starters. How are you feeling about that, man?
I think they're just, not nothing against our fans and our Savage family, but, sort of, it thinks that, it's just so much media everywhere, no matter where. You can't escape it, on a phone, on a radio, it's TV, just everywhere it is. And you have that constant things of everybody hyping up Sauce, everybody hyping up Thibodeau, everybody hyping up everybody, to where, during the regular season, we're screaming at regular things, is where if we took ourselves back, to week 10, week 8 during the regular season and could see the draft now, we'd be killing that, jumping at the bit to be like, oh my God, I wish somebody trades for a quarterback and we can just go spread our wings and get future draft picks for next year, 2024, and abundance in this year's draft. Yeah. It's, you got to take advantage of people's greed, and we're in a perfect spot. And we can still get center in the third, with Donovan West. That guy's an animal, and he can play any spot too, and he showed it. He's got awards to prove it in college. He was no slouch or pushover. He's a mean dude. It's great.
Yeah. So also, when you get back to this draft and you start to look at the situation here with the NFL draft, is there a player that you want to see the New York Jets steer clear of?
Yeah, there's a couple, but I mean, Stingley, I want nothing to do with Stingley. Absolutely. If he was a UDFA, I'd be like, okay, cool. But I don't want anything to do with him. He scares me.
Okay.
With his foot, everything. I don't know. It's just, it's got D. Millen here written all over him in a way. Hamilton, sort of similar, with just injuries, and I don't think we don't have to reach for safety or cornerback that high at all. We can get the Nick Crosses, we can get the Kirbys, we can, and then for cornerbacks, we can get the Kyler Gordons, we can get the Tyreek Woolens, and those guys are insane. Those are ball hawks that thrive in our style of defense.
Yeah.
So, it's once you look beyond and outside the box that, we're sort of caged in, it's a field of dreams, and it's awesome. It's for the picking and taking.
Yeah, yeah. So my final question for you, Rusty.
I trust our scouts, and JD loves trading.
Yeah, he does. And so my final question for you, Rusty, give me your official prediction for the New York Jets first round. Who do you think they take it 4? Who do you think they take it 10?
If there's no trade outs, if it's just legit 4 and 10, like that.
No trade outs, just 4 and 10.
Just straight cut.
Yep.
I mean, for me, I would have to do the best edge that they think they would have to get. If it wasn't Hutchinson, I feel the Greek Freak, and then at 10, I would go Nakobe Dean. And Nakobe Dean's my number 1 in the draft, because I don't think we'll get Hutch no matter what. But that's my guy. Yeah.
Okay.
No Nakobe Dean, no matter what.
All right. Listen, Rusty, you had some takes, man. He's got some fire takes. Listen, Rusty, I want to thank you for calling in, man. Next time I have a show, I want to hear from you, all right? We'll be doing one draft night.
Absolutely, most stuff. Take care, Joe, and take care, Savages.
All right, you have a good one. Listen, Rusty calling in, he has some takes as well. He likes Nakobe Dean. I talked about that kid, too. I don't know if the Jets take a linebacker in the first round. I know he's been a big advocate of that, big advocate of Nakobe Dean, but let me tell you something. There's some takes to be had out there, and they're letting them go. Again, 515-602-9639. 515-602-9639 is the number. Call in. We are taking all callers. Man, we're talking draft tonight. We're talking about it. You know what I'm saying? So next, I'm going to go to my guy, Steve. Steve is on the line. Mike, we'll get to you next. Steve, salutes to you. I want to thank you for calling in tonight, Steve. Steve, this Jets linebacker situation, it's in, there's some improvements that could be made. We brought in Kwan Alexander today. Give me your thoughts about that, man.
Yeah, hey, Joe. First off, it's great. Thank you for having me on your show tonight. Yeah. No, I think Quan Alexander would be a nice addition to the defense for the Jets, because the thing is that Quan Alexander knows Robert Saleh's system, and to get a veteran player that knows Robert Saleh's system would definitely be a really, really, really big help for the team. I mean, listen, we don't know if he's going to sign with the team. All he did was come in for a visit, but nothing hasn't popped up yet about a contract situation, but we'll see.
Yeah. I mean, we'll see what happens. Like you said as well, he's very familiar with Saleh's scheme, very familiar with what Saleh's going to do. And I remember he was a guy that we chased before, and we weren't able to get him and grab him, but he's visiting. So hopefully the New York Jets are able to sign him. It'll really help out, especially when you look at our situation. Mosley getting up in age, it's costing a whole lot of money. You got Sherwood, Hamza Nasruddin, they're kind of in flux. Quincy Williams is a guy that I think has played well, but we've seen Gerard Davis move on. We've seen other guys move on. Kwan coming in, having that familiarity with the system, being able to come in and do his thing, I think would be huge for us. Now, you look at this draft that's coming up, Steve, and there are takes that are flying, man, flying. Give me your thoughts about Sauce Gardner at 4. Is he a guy that you want to see the New York Jets take it for?
As much of a talent Sauce Gardner is, and one of my little brother's friends who told me about Sauce Gardner thinks that he's a phenomenal talent, and basically, I mean, listen, he is the number one corner in this draft, and don't get me wrong, I think Sauce Gardner is a phenomenal talent. However, though, we do not take Sauce Gardner at number 4. You have to get a pass rusher at number 4. The thing is, that's why I love Kayvon Thibodeau from Oregon. I mean, I spoke about Aiden Hutchinson all the time, but unfortunately, Hutchinson is going to be gone way before the Jets pick. He's either going to go number 1 or number 2 on draft night. Even Jeremiah Johnson, I wouldn't mind taking at number 4 either. But the thing is, or even the guy
you mean Jermaine Johnson?
4,
yeah, Tremaine.
A lot of people
you mean Jermaine Johnson?
Saying that's a very high pass rusher. Joe, you got it. We need a pass rusher. The last few years of this team, there's been no pass rush. One of the reasons why our defense is on the field most of the time during football games last year is because we cannot rush the quarterback. That is the biggest. That is why I think what the Jets need to do at number 4 is get a pass rusher. Now, the thing is, though, with the pass rusher is it helps the defense, it helps us, get a chance to get to the quarterback much faster.
Yeah.
If you looked at what Saleh did with San Francisco when he was there during his 4-year time there, the year when they went to the Super Bowl, the reason why they won football games, because they sacked the quarterback.
Yeah. I mean, you're talking facts. Pass rush in this league is extremely important, and we have been hurting for quite some time. We absolutely have, Steve, and I hear your take there. Now, I know you're talking about pass rush and the importance of it, and that's extremely important, like you said. But when do the New York Jets take a wide receiver, Steve? Would you be okay with the Jets taking Drake London at 10?
No, I would be okay with them taking a receiver at number 10. I wouldn't mind getting a toy for Zach Wilson at number 10, because the thing is, I mean, listen, obviously now things are going out. I mean, Joe, I don't know if you heard about this, because this happened while your show is going on, but now Deebo Samuel is requesting a trade.
Okay.
Now, I don't know if, let's say, the Jets decide, if we still have a chance to go out there and get a receiver before the draft begins, right before the draft or even during the draft.
Yeah.
Because obviously there's rumors going around there as well. But, the thing is, Joe, let's say if the Jets do pick at number 10 overall, I wouldn't mind the Jets getting Drake London or any of the receivers. The only receiver I wouldn't want the Jets to go after is the guy Williams from Alabama. Nothing against him. I think he's a phenomenal talent, but as you said, Joe, he is coming off of a torn ACL and possibly wouldn't be ready until November. Mm-hmm. So, but let's say if the Jets decide, you know what, we can go ahead and maybe get receiver in round 2 with picks 35 and 38. That's why there's another player I would love to see the Jets get. And if he is available at number 10, I get the center from Iowa, Linden Blum. Because let me tell you something, we haven't had a phenomenal center since Nick Mangold.
Yeah, it's crazy because I talked about that earlier. I talked about taking, I wouldn't be against if they decided to take Linderbaum at 10. I wouldn't necessarily be against it. And I don't know what's been going on, but again, the draft coming up, there's just a lot of takes flying. There's a lot of people saying that he's going to slide. And I don't know if that's true, but there's a lot of people all of a sudden now saying, they're not so sure. When I remember there was a ton of scouts saying that he was generational, that he's a guy that can come in and change. And I've consistently heard that from certain scouts, and there's a lot of people that think he's vastly overrated, which I respect their opinion. But let me tell you something. You get a talent like that on your offensive line, that shores it up. And that's one of the things that, you're talking about right now, Steve. You look at the situation with Zach Wilson, you add Linderbaum to that. We got Mekhi at left. You got, Lakeland Tomlinson at your guard at left guard. Then you got, the center there, right there, guy we just drafted. You bring him in. You got him in the mix. You got the USC guard at right guard. Then we got Fant at right tackle. This offensive line would be unstoppable. Not only would they be able to properly protect Zach Wilson, but they would also be able to help us run the football. We can't run the football. I don't think a lot of people know that. We're in a run-first offense, and we cannot run the football effectively. That would ease up the load on Zach Wilson and allow him to really be able to work with us now having the threat of running the football. Right, Steve?
Yeah, no. The thing is, by the way, you can text me or call me the next time when Greg Van Roten gets cut for this team. I want him gone. That's the first I got to talk about offensive line. I had to get that out of my mouth. So, no, the thing is, it's important. And listen, Lincoln Tomlinson was a great pickup. Yeah. Great pickup by the Jets. That was the first free agent move that Douglas made this year, was getting Tomlinson from San Fran. And he is a 3-time Pro Bowler offensive lineman. Yeah. And the thing is, we need that kind of a talent. But the thing is, though, going back to getting Linderbaum at 10, getting back to him at 10, I watched his highlights, Joe. He is phenomenal. And if he is there at number 10, and let's say if the Jets decide to not go receiver at number 10, he would be a player I wouldn't mind picking at number 10. Okay. But we got to wait to see what happens on draft night.
Yeah, we do. So, listen, Steve, my next question for you is, how confident are you in Joe Douglas going into this draft? How hyped are you to have him here as a general manager? How hyped are you to have him go in there and make the picks for the New York Jets, knowing that he's a guy that understands scouting and how to get things done in this league?
Listen, what Joe Douglas does in this, because this is a big year for Joe Douglas. And no matter what happens, I do trust on what he does, because Joe Douglas knows how to look at players, and he knows like what we need for the draft and what he needs for free agency. Because remember, the last years in the past, when we always used to have what was their name? When we had Mike McCagnon and John Indick, those two did not have a draft. Oh, and they would always get the best player available. Even if we already had players at that position, they would always draft the best player available. Listen, it's not about drafting the best player available. Yep. It's about drafting of what you need for your football team.
Exactly.
Football team. And the thing is that I am praying that at number 4 we get the edge rusher, and then it really, really depends on what we do at number 10.
Yeah.
But anyway, Joe, I'm going to give you my final prediction, because this is your last show before the draft.
Go ahead, man.
So with the 4th pick, with the 4th pick of the 2022 NFL Draft, the New York Jets will proudly select from Oregon defensive end Kayvon Thibodeau, and with 10th pick in the 2022 NFL Draft, the New York Jets will proudly select from the University of Southern California wide receiver Drake London.
Steve. I like the way you're thinking, Steve. I like the way you're thinking. That's all I'm going to say. I like the way you're thinking. Listen, Steve, I want to thank you for calling in. You have yourself a good night, my friend.
Good night, Joe. Go Jets.
All right. Listen, Steve called in talking that talk. He says Kayvon at 4 and old Drake London at 10. We'll see if that comes true. And like Steve said, and I used to say this a long time ago, all right? Look, you don't draft best player available when you're a team that's trying to build. You draft best player available that fits your needs. John Idzik, McCagnon, awful general managers. They were awful, man. Give them another one. They were awful. They were completely awful. It's awful. Goodness gracious. But you know who's not awful? Monty. Monty with the big donation. I said Monty. Chan Gully with the big donation, man. Monty says Big Applesauce Gardner and Garrett Wilson from the Ohio State Buckeyes. You know, he's got to call in and continue to rep his guys. You know, salutes to Monty again with the big donation. I want to thank him for giving to the platform. I also want to thank Pappy 1994 as well for giving to the platform. Greatly appreciate y'all. You know, Monty talking that talk. There's a lot to be said. We'll continue with these lines again. 515-602-9639. 515-602-9639 is the number. Call in. We're taking all callers. Next, we're going to a man that I know is going to bring the fire. I'm talking big time fire. Mike from Bayshore. Salutes to you, Mike. How are you feeling tonight, my friend?
Big Joe, live of Pepper Stop is in the live one.
Talk.
Let me tell you something, bro.
Talk.
Let me tell you something, bro.
Talk.
We're
listening.
Good, bro?
We're listening. I said, Mike, we're listening. I need you to talk. We're listening, Mike. We're listening. Draft is coming. Give me your thoughts.
We're going, if not defensive end, number 4. We're going defensive end. If we're not going Thibodeau, we're going Jermaine Johnson. If you're going to fake the folk on Jermaine Johnson, see me at extra 42. See me at extra 42. And
Talk
then
about
number 10, Drake London, bro. Let me tell you, bro. Live with Pepper Stop is in the live one. I'm the vanilla stallion.
Talk about it.
Not for one reason, but 2 reasons. Bring the Bronx. Bring the 5 boroughs. Knock it down. Love it die.
Let's go.
Love it die.
Let's go. You heard him? And he don't wear no collared shirts. He don't. Salutes to you, Mike. Damn. Mike from Bayshore bringing the fire. You heard him. He wants Kayvon at 4, Drake London at 10. He told you that. He's the livest one. He keep having to tell y'all that every time. Every time. And as we know, Mike is a savage. Savage. Love the fire that he brings to this program. Salutes to you, Mike. I want to thank you for calling in. Called in with some takes. Coming towards the end of the show now, he got me riled up. The Jets draft also has me riled up. Again, we're going to be having a live show on YouTube. All right. We're going to be covering the New York Jets draft. We're going to watch the first round of the draft together. Going to be having a lot of discussion during that. If time permits, we're also going to have a live radio show directly after that draft live. All right. For those of you that have been here, You know, we did this last year. We had a lot of fun. We talked a lot of trash. We saw who the Jets took, and then we immediately went live. People called in, and we got to chopping it up. Man, it's a great show. Now it's time for me to give my takes about this Jets draft. I'm looking at the situation here, and I think the Jets are sitting at 10. There's been a lot of talk about what the New York Jets could do. And I'm thinking that the New York Jets end up with Kayvon Thibodeaux at 4. I truly believe that. I think there's been a lot to be said. There's been a lot of smoke, and I think a lot of people don't talk about this either. As the draft comes, there's always a lot of smoke screens being fired all over the place. A lot of things being said that aren't true. A lot of things being shot out there. Teams are interested in players. Teams are not that interested in this guy. But I really think that the New York Jets could end up with Kayvon Thibodeaux. I think that he ends up coming down to 4, and I think he's the guy that we take. All right? So that's what I think we have there at 4. Now when you look at 10, right? If the New York Jets do not make the trade, if Deebo Samuels does not get traded to the New York Jets, which is a high probability that I think he will be, if that deal is not made, I could see, and I think that the New York Jets will end up taking Drake London with the 10th pick in the first round. That's who I think ends up there. I think the Jets take him at 10. I think they give Zach Wilson a big target. And I also think I could see the New York Jets trading back up into the first round to grab a guy like Boye Mafe. I think he's a guy that the New York Jets can end up taking as well, trading back into the first round for. So those are my takes. I'm thinking again, Kayvon Thibodeaux at 4, Drake London at 10. And I think the New York Jets could possibly, more than likely, are going to make a move back into the first round and grab Boye Mafe in the first round. All right. Whew. What a fire show, man. What a fire show. Fire show. It's a lot of talks. Salutes to all the savages in the chat. The Real J says, Joe, some people are worried that NYC might be too much for Kayvon Thibodeaux. Salutes to you, The Real J, and again, salutes to all the savages in the chat. I've heard that take from a lot of Jets fans. Some Jets fans, excuse me. Here's the deal. Kayvon Thibodeaux is a guy that I think will be fine in this market. Kayvon Thibodeaux coming here, there's been a lot of talk about his attitude. There's been a lot of talk about him excited about building his brand. Let me explain something to you, and I've said this multiple times. Building a brand does not work if you suck. If you are a bad football player, your brand doesn't matter. Nobody's going to buy your jersey if you're the 100th ranked defensive end in the NFL. Nobody's going to buy your jersey if you don't get sacks. Nobody's going to buy your jersey if you're a bum. Nobody does that. I think a lot of the attitude stuff and a lot of the things that people are talking about, I think is being played up a bit with Kayvon Thibodeaux. I don't think NYC is too big for Kayvon. I don't. I think he's going to be able to come here. I think, again, Sulla, I think this coaching staff, I think that is going to be able to surround him and put him in a great position. I think he's going to be all right if he comes here. I truly, truly do. So, with that said, we're going to close out the show. It's been an amazing show. A lot of takes firing around. Listen, I am the man of the people. I'm here for the people. Let me shamelessly promote my Facebook page. Everyone go on Facebook, search The Long Beach Joe Show. Like that page. My content's up there. Go ahead and give it a listen. Message me. I'll message you right back. I love going back and forth with all these football teams. I love going back with you fans about this football team. Excuse me. Salutes to the savages. They keep me rolling. Oh, man. I love going back and forth with all you fans about this football team. Also, leave me some feedback. I love hearing about what you folks think I do here on the Long Beach Joe Show. All right. I'm also on Twitter as well at YoungJ000. Again, YoungJ000. Okay. If you want to troll me, no problem. I'll troll you right back. I'm the troll that lives under the bridge, and I will have my Vera Tucker jersey on at all times. At all times, I have my Vera Tucker jersey on. You know what I'm saying? Maybe we'll have a Drake London jersey coming soon. That's all I'm saying. You know, there's been a lot of talk out there. Jets wide receiver coach was at his pro day. That's all I'm saying. All right. Been a lot of talk. So maybe we'll have a Drake London jersey coming soon. You can also follow the show's page as well as at the Long Beach Joe. At the Long Beach Joe, that's the show's page. Go ahead and give that a follow as well. We go back and forth. We'll talk about football and all kind of things on that as well. I'm also on YouTube as well. I live stream on YouTube. We live stream the show. Long Beach Joe Jets. Long Beach Joe Jets on YouTube. Go ahead on over there. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that notification bell. All right. And if you want to troll me, no issues. You can troll me in the comments. We'll go back and forth. And as always, people, when you see me in person, okay, it is arms out, chest open, free hugs for everyone. Free hugs for everyone. The hugs will cost you absolutely nothing. They will always remain free. I want to thank you folks for listening, watching, and calling in. Without you folks, I'm absolutely nothing. Thank you for taking the times out of your day to call in and listen to the show. You folks are the greatest, all right? And again, we will be having a live draft show as well. Tune on in. We're going to be having a lot of fun. I'll see you guys then. You folks have a good one. Peace. 1 second, folks. Making sure. Okay. I'm back. Salutes. Ooh, that was quite a show. There was a lot of fire takes flying around. A lot to discuss. Salutes to everybody. I want to thank everybody for watching. Listen, if you're new to the channel, please hit the subscribe button. Also hit that notification bell. We continue to do these shows throughout the entire off season. For those of you that are new, if you are new, exclamation point links in the chat. That brings up my link tree. That link tree has the links to all of my content. It has the links to all of my social media pages, all of the charities that I'm involved with. It has the links to all of the, everything that I do. All right. Please hit that link. Follow me across all my social media platforms and subscribe to all my YouTube pages as well. Also in that link is my Discord. Okay. Mods, you listening? Discord mods, listen, go to that link, join my Discord. Okay. And come have fun with us. We talk a lot of trash. We talk about TV. We talk about food. We talk about the Jets. We discuss it all. Come over and join that Discord, okay? We have a lot of fun. So please, please, please join the Discord. Mods, you hear that? You know what I'm saying? Discord talk, okay? So please join that Discord. I want to thank everybody for listening. I want to thank everybody for giving to the platform as well. I truly appreciate it. Salutes to Pappy 1994. Monty as well. Chan Gully, salutes to you too, for giving. I truly appreciate that. Again, for all of you that are new, this number right here, it's a number to the show. It never changes. If it does change, I will tell y'all. But as of right now, it's always been the number, right? If you want to get on the show earlier, you use that number. You call in about 10 minutes before the show starts, and then you'll get on a bit earlier. Now, keep in mind, I respect everybody's time. Not everybody's, not every, time you call in, or most of the time you call in, I'm not going to be able to give people like 40 minutes, right, to talk football, but you'll definitely be able to come on, get your take out, and to have a discussion, all right? The only thing I do not allow on my show is cursing. Do not curse on my show, okay? I'll get you out of here fast. Just be respectful, and let's go back and forth and talk about football. Now, also keep in mind that when you call in, okay, your background needs to be straight. Don't call in with a bunch of crazy stuff going on in your background, all right? I need to be able to hear you clearly. I want you to be able to hear me clearly, and I want my audience to be able to hear your takes, okay? All right? Now, I may not always agree with your takes, and I definitely, go back and forth with a lot of people, but I respect everybody's takes, and I respect everybody's time, and I want to hear from you, all right? So, this was a fire one, man. There was a lot to discuss. Salutes to everybody. Again, we'll be having a live draft show. We're going to watch the draft together. The time permits, we're going to be having a live radio show after the draft, okay? Or after the first round, excuse me. We're going to be watching the first round together. After the first round, we're going to be talking live about it. Call in. We're going to, talk about the picks or whatever happens, and we'll see what happens, all right? So, I got to get out of here. It is crazy. My schedule's crazy. Salutes to everybody that watched. Salutes to Budgeting D. Good to see you in here. I'm doing well. I hope you're doing well, Budgeting D. Salutes to Jay Johnson. Good to see you in here. Salutes to the real Jay. Good to see you as well. Sean McAddish, salutes to you as well, Sean. Salutes to everybody that just came on by, man. Everybody that came by and just said what's up or had a lot of discussion going on in the chat. Went back and forth with a lot of people. You know what I'm saying? Salutes to everybody that came on by. Salutes to my guy Vibe Shop. Salutes to you as well. You know what I'm saying? Again, salutes to Monty. Salutes to Pappy 1994. Salutes to everybody, man, that just came on by. Talk Jets with your boy Wild Wave. Bliss got beat. Salutes to you as well. NY Jets FL. Salutes to you. BK Trainer. Always good to see you in here as well, man. Jetty Knight. Salutes to you. Good to see you in here as well. Venom G's. Salutes to you. Good to see you in here. You know, 343 Fox Den. Salutes to you as well. Good to see everybody in here talking Jets, man. Had a lot of fun with this show. Whew, lot to discuss. Again, I cannot wait for this draft. It's gonna be crazy. There's a lot of speculation, a lot of things flying, and again, even with Debo, you know, on that trade market now, supposedly that happened live during the show that he requested a trade. Man, let me tell you, that could definitely play into a lot of things that we have going on here. So I'm going to get on out of here. Listen, people, be safe, okay? Be safe. There's a lot of craziness going on out here in the world. I want you guys to be safe, all right? Sit down with your friends, your family, have a good meal, watch some good TV, enjoy, you know, some good times, play some games. Sit down and let the people that you love know that you love them. That's extremely important, man. It's extremely important. Extremely important. You know, let the people that you love know that you love them. It's really, really big. Jay Johnson says, staying put at all picks. Real quick, what is your 4 picks for round 1 and round 2? So right now, Jay, I'm thinking, like I said, Kayvon Thibodeau. I'm thinking Kayvon Thibodeau at 4. I'm thinking Drake London at 10, because there's just a lot of smoke surrounding him and the Jets right now. And I just got a feeling that they're going to take him. I think that that's one of those second round picks and maybe some change from, you know, possibly this year, maybe a late round pick to move back up and get Boye Mafe in the first. And I think that other second round pick, for some reason, I think they take a linebacker for some reason. I just got a linebacker. I know a lot of people are talking about Breece Hall. I think he's the running back. I think Hall the running back, or I'm pretty sure that's the guy, but I don't know if they'll end up taking it back in the second round, especially when you look at our system and how it runs. We run just with the Niner runs. The Niners don't have like some stud back that they've taken in. They don't have those guys. They literally, this system, you can put almost any running back in it and they will be able to be functional as long as they're built a certain way. The Niners had an undrafted rookie free agent that ran for a ton of yards for them last year. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you don't have to have like a big household name or even a guy to the second round. And again, we got Michael Carter here. I think a lot of people forget that too. I don't know where all this kind of talk came from where, hey, you need to grab a running back early. I don't know where that came from, because we have guys here that can run within the system. It's our offensive line that was the issue. And I know a lot of people talk about safety, but I know that there's a lot of talk about Kine possibly being available in the third. He's a guy I think the Jets could end up drafting. You talk about Brisker right now, just right now. Yeah, Brisker is a guy I could see possibly being taken, but I think that they'll probably go safety maybe in the third. That's probably, especially with Joyner being here, Whitehead being here, and Ashton Davis, you know, he's still here. So we'll see what we get out of him. So we'll see, but we'll see what happens. So those are my guys as of right now, that I think we end up taking. So, man, a lot to talk about. Listen, I'm going to get on out of here. You folks have a good one. I will see you for the first round of the draft. We're going to have a lot of fun. We're going to sit down and talk about the draft and have a blast. So please, again, subscribe. If you have not subscribed, give the stream a thumbs up. If you have not already, then I'll see y'all then. Be safe